Howdy all Movax Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. I am headed off to a tier 5 clear. I've got, I don't know, like 700 rounds of ammo. See if this is enough. I've yet to clear one of these, to be honest. Where is this? Oh, it's up here yet, it says. These tier 5 ones are just so many zombies, and big zombies that take like multiple rounds to put down. And it just chews through my ammo. But we'll see. We'll see how... Oh, I see. You jump right out here. Want to get run over? Fine. I can do that. There you go. You want to jump out in the street? You get the car. Yep, we played some D&D this week. We're almost through the air quote one-shot I had set up. I forgot, man. You know, I set this one-shot, figure about 3 to 4 hours of gameplay, we get through it, and it didn't occur to me that, hey, by the way, we only play for an hour a week, if that, now. Thanks, car. Listen, game, if I'm shooting above my car's hood, I shouldn't be hitting my car's hood, okay? I thought this bear might be a good source of fat. I need fat for my cooking purposes. I'm getting a lot of not fat. That's what I'm seeing. Tons of bones. That's useful. Tons of meat. Also slightly useful. Dang it. Let's dial back on the hitbox for the truck, man. Jeez. But yeah, so we got in there, and they continued fighting the waves of zombies. I feel like I explained to them how this works, and they went and like spent all of their consumables like right off the bat, and so they've been fighting for a while without any consumables, and by that I mean like I'm gonna use all my spell slots in the first wave. I'm like, you know, you don't get a long rest for like till morning, and it's a long way till morning. It'll be fine. I'm sure we'll get a long rest. So they just got their only long rest for the campaign. Everything else has been short rest up to this point. Oh, we got ourselves a crack of books, huh? Got ourselves, might be too cold to run this mission, huh? I want to run in real quick here and see if I can get... So... Well... Yep, never mind. Let's just start it. We'll see how this goes. Are you part of it? I don't think you're part of it. You're just a rando zombie that appeared. So, I do know that there are zombies down here on the first floor. But getting to them... What's going on? Get out of here. I saw you run at me. Listen, guys, I'm trying to do something else here, okay? Stop playing Leapfrog. Alright, this noise isn't to attract you guys. This noise is to attract these guys inside here. Oh. Okay, there we go. So now you wake up, huh? Okay, this is a lot of... Oh, crap. Well, I couldn't even clear a little... It's because I was trying to use my fist. Now I'm going to have to get out the bike. We're going to have to ride the bike back over here. What a waste of a trip. Jeez. One of these days. One of these days I'm going to get good. And that's never going to happen. So, yeah, we fought a couple of waves. I think they've got 2 more waves, I told them, before the end of the game. And, so basically they've got the next wave, and then they need to unlock the last stairway and enter the, this is such a step down, man. They need to finish the last wave of zombies and then clear the shield to the temple at the top of this building. And then they'll have completed it. Yay! I do think that if I do it again, I'll make some changes. One of the things I did that I don't like is I didn't write down loot, and I thought I would do random loot. I'm fine with the random loot, but I think I need a table. I think I need a table of the available loot so that when they roll for a random of what they get, I can tell them what they're gonna get. To be fair, I think I had a slightly different idea in mind for how it would run, and I didn't play it out that way because I got lazy. And so I really should have put some more effort into the loot aspect. Also, the map I chose was too big. It, like, kills the one guy's computer to run that map. But we're off of that map now. Well, we're off of the big map of that map. We're on to a smaller map now on the 2nd floor, so hopefully it won't bother him so much. But yeah, I find it to be... I've found it to be fun. It barely has a story, but you know what? It's got more of a story than the other guy's campaign currently has. So... so maybe we'll do it again next year for Halloween. Basically, I read about it on Twitter. I think I saw somebody posted, this is the most genius idea for a Halloween D&D one-shot I've seen, and they're like, I'm gonna do Call of Duty Zombies and D&D, and so I'm like, ooh, that does sound fun, but it's been a long time since I played Call of Duty Zombies. I know there's more of a story than what I put in, and I definitely should have taken the time to do one up, but it was so close to Halloween, and I screwed around too long, and didn't get it finished. And so we had to kind of go with the bare bones version of it. So next time I'll probably maybe play some Call of Duty Zombies so I can remember exactly how that goes. Because I remember there's like... I even tried a little bit, but... I don't know. It's... it's hard to get people to interact with the game world um, in a way that's not just video game logic, right? And so I told them that there was like a huge supply of like boards and nails and hammers and stuff, trying to nudge them in the direction that they could seal off doors and windows and stuff to stop the zombies from getting in. But after the first round, they just completely ignored that, um, which was disappointing. I also forgot how slow zombies were, and so I had to start putting the zombies in the rooms with them because zombies be slow. A player can move 30 feet around, or 30. Okay, a player can move up to like on average 60 feet around if they're running. Zombie can move about 40 feet around if it's running. And if you're running, you can't do anything else. And so, it's a little disappointing. It's a little disappointing on how long it takes for old zombibles to get to what you're trying to fight. Um, I flat out told the wizard last night, I'm like, dude, you need to be using the spell scrolls that you got and stop hoarding them to scribe them into your book. Um, that's not a thing. Like, I don't know why you think you want to scribe them into your book. A, you don't have the money for it because it's expensive, and B, no, just use them. They're items to be used. They're to help you out. The idea is you can cast them without using up one of your spell slots. Um, not enough heal potions, definitely. We had some issues with people getting knocked down, so I started letting them, if they survived their 3 rounds of death saves, they would come back up with 1 hit point instead of, because standard D&D, they're supposed to be unconscious, but, what's the fun in being unconscious the entire fight? Let me tell you. I had a couple of 3, 4 fights I can remember back in the campaign where I was a fighter, where either I was feared or stunned or dead for the entire fight, and that is not fun. Um, you know what's even more not fun is when your teammates just leave you dead or stunned or feared because none of them, well, because most of them don't have anything they can do about it. But the one guy who could have done something about it, opted to, I need to save my spells in case I have to save the team. Yeah, because your biggest damage dealer is currently tucking his head into the corner of the room because he can't face the monster that's behind him. Yeah, that seems like your best option is to save your spells. Anyway. I finished season 1 of Reincarnated as a Sword. As a new anime came out this season. Pretty good. Not great, but pretty fun. I liked it. Spoilers for Reincarnated as a Sword. Basically, it was dude dies, gets reincarnated on another world as on a game world kind of thing, as a sentient weapon, and one of his abilities is telekinesis, and so he can actually wield himself. And so he starts fighting all the monsters around him, and he discovers that monsters will drop crystals, and if he cracks the crystals, he can absorb the abilities of the monsters. And so he proceeds to start killing and collecting skills and skill points and leveling himself. And And then he starts looking for bigger things to fight, and he goes and he kills he goes and attacks I think that's when it happens. I watched it. I started watching it when it first came out, and then I stopped to wait for the last episodes to get put up. So, it's been a couple of months, 3 months, I guess. Um, I believe what happened was he fought the King of the Forest, which was like a giant slime, and it had a anti-magic thing going in the ground, and so when he touched the ground, it sucked up all his magic. And no magic, no telekinesis, can't move. And so he's trapped, stuck in the ground. And so then this caravan with slaves, it wasn't a slave caravan, it was just a merchant caravan who had some slaves, gets attacked by a two-headed bear. And so one of the slaves is this cat girl named Fran. And I should have turned back there. And so she gets into the forest trying to get away from this thing and comes across the sword. And he's like, pull me from the ground and wield me and I'll save you. And so she does. And she bonds to him so that he can... I don't know. It gives him the ability to share his skills with her. So she goes from having no skills or fighting abilities to, all the skills and fighting abilities that he's collected, which makes her super, super powerful. And so yeah, so it was pretty fun, and it's not amazing. It's definitely not a serious. I mean, it's a little serious, but it's not like I don't know how to describe what I want to say here. There are anime that have a very serious, like, realistic plot line, right? Like maybe the Gundam. A lot of the Gundams are, based around a war that's taking place, and I still want to go in here and look at the bookshelves if they've got any. They do some here on the first floor. And so the show focuses on, serious plot lines. There might be occasional silly bit, but for the most part, wow. For the most part, they are very serious in tone. And this one has serious moments, and it's got some serious in tone stuff, but it's a sillier kind of storyline, right? I mean, the sword talks, the greatest warrior in the kingdom they're in. Ooh. And the greatest warrior in the land, or the area that they're in, is like, oh, I love this little cat girl. I want her to call me mommy. And chases her around and stuff. So it's that kind of silliness from an anime. But the fights are pretty good, and there's people are in trouble. People are dying around them. They just happen to be super overpowered about saving everybody. And so, but even their fights aren't necessarily so overpowered that it's ridiculous. It's not like Overlord or something where nobody can even get through his shields and none of it matters. Which I don't dislike Overlord, but I definitely liked Reincarnated as a sword better. Speaking of Overlord, turns out I am a whole season behind. Or was a whole season behind. I should be able to finish it next time I watch it. Overlord is another anime that I've been watching. If you didn't get that from comparing it to reincarnate as a sword. Um, it oof. Oh no. I didn't think I was that badly injured, and they just one-shot me, and now both my vehicle. Oh no, nope, not both my vehicles. My bike is in my inventory. Let's spawn near my bed. Oh, not on top of a building. Oh man, don't you hate it when you wake up on the roof? Not just any roof, but the second story roof. Alright, let's go back and get my truck. Okay. Overlord is a weird one to me. One of the guys I play D&D with, he really likes Overlord. And actually, I think both of the guys, or two of the guys I play, maybe all three of them, I don't know. So I watched it, and I'm on season 4. I think there's 4 seasons out, so I'm getting to the end of season 4. And I gotta say, it's not great. It's not terrible, but it's not great. And I don't mean like Reincarnated Sword isn't great, but it's pretty good. I don't think Overlord is pretty good. Overlord is okay, maybe. I feel like the character is too all over the place. And I wish there was there's a little bit more of a plot line in the newer season, but I don't understand it, which doesn't help. But I don't know, the main character is very, like, I get that part of it is the fact that the game or the world itself is suppressing his emotions. But I mean, either his emotions are always suppressed or they're not always suppressed. I don't understand. I get when he's overexcited and he turns green, and then his overexcited emotion goes away. But what about the rest of his decisions along the way? Like, I just it's why I'm confused. Basically, a dude decides to stay to the last second in an MMO that's shutting down, and when it reaches the shutdown point, he doesn't. The world doesn't disappear. Instead, the world becomes real. And so now he's. I don't think he cares. He's just in the world, and his character was. I don't remember if his guild was a PvP guild, but he's a lich. He's a big skeleton-y guy who casts magic spells, right? And so all the AI assistants that were created by the fellow officers of the guild are now sentient beings, and they worship him as one of the divine beings who created them. And so basically has this whole kingdom that do whatever he says. And this is my biggest problem with the show. They said that the dude is the guild strategist. Now, in a big MMO guild, the guild strategist would be the guy who comes up with all the plans. And this guy can't come up with a plan. Ever. So I feel like whoever made it was never in a big guild that had a guild strategist. And just is using a term he once heard. Because the person in charge of your plans should be able to make plans. And this dude, the character, cannot. He sits around wondering what he's supposed to do. He doesn't know how to make decisions. He's never sure what actions to take. There are whole, like, chunks of episodes where he's just trying to determine how to say a phrase in the most regal and menacing way possible. How to sit down in a chair by flipping his cloak back, right? I'm just like, okay. And then he's like, "Oh, I don't even know what to do. We got bad guys coming to attack, and I'm just not sure what to do." That's literally what you said your job was in your best guild in the world. I feel like you probably should have been capable of making decisions at some point. And so most of the show is him just reacting, and then the worshiping people, his subordinates, basically going, "Oh, that was just the most genius plan. I can't believe we didn't think that far ahead. I'm sure that at this moment when you were being attacked, and so you switched to your warrior body, that's why you created that warrior body, um, you know, 2 seasons ago." And it's definitely been the plan, or just everything he does is some far-reaching into the past plan that the people around him suddenly realize that he's just this genius, and that he can do no wrong. And I'm just like, or they'll come in and they'll tell him something had happened, and then he'll be like, they'll switch to in his head, and he'll be like, "Oh no, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. How would you even decide how to solve this thing?" And then one of the subordinates will be like, "That's genius. That's genius, master. Can I tell them what I have devised of your plan before you say it?" And be like, "Yes, go ahead." And then the subordinate will lay out the plan for what they should do, and he won't have actually come up with any of it. So that's my biggest problem with it, is that he's supposed to be the strategist that he's not. There's another anime called Log Horizon where that dude is a strategist, but that dude strategizes. So it's it's really weird that this dude is supposed to be, the strategist without being able to come up with any strategies. And uh, and then the second biggest thing I have a problem with in the show is that I don't know what tone he's supposed to have. Um, and so, like, he'll go out of his way to save people, but then he'll murder entire villages. And I don't understand the flip-flop. So it starts, and there's like this village, and he decides he's going to save the village, and so he saves the village. And then there's like a group of goblins, and so he decides he's going to save the group of goblins, and so now that group of goblins now lives with the village, and is part of the village. And so I'm like, okay, cool. I like town building, animes like this. And then they kidnap 100,000 people from the nearby kingdom because they sent armies against him. Not the people who caused it, not the soldiers, just random civilians for the most part. And then they brought them back, and I'm like, oh, okay, so what's he gonna do with these, civilians? I mean, clearly he saved this village and this goblin tribe. He's gonna, have them become part of his kingdom or something. No, he gave them to his subordinates to torture to death. I'm like, okay, that's a abrupt shift. And then he he goes in, decides in the newest season, which has more of a plot. He's going to reveal to the world that his kingdom exists. He gave it a name, the Sorcerer Kingdom. Ooh, big name. And then he started attacking the nearby kingdoms, and so he goes and he confronts the emperor. I don't know why they call him an emperor. I'm pretty sure they called him emperor. Um, and the guy, oh no, he sends his subordinates to kill a bunch of the Emperor's people, and then, wait, that's my name, that's not my truck. Okay. Uh, and then tells the Emperor they has to apologize. And so the Emperor, now the Emperor sent people against Ainz, that's the dude's name. And so Ainz sent his people back to, to attack, and they do, and they just use it. It's a big, big hole in the ground. It's interesting. And so then he comes back to apologize, the Emperor does. And then he's like, I think we should be allies, and I apologize for sending my people to attack you. And he's like, allies, that sounds great. And so now he's allies with the Emperor. And I'm like, okay. But then the other kingdom attacks a shipment, and they've decided to raise that kingdom to the ground because that kingdom disrupted a supply chain for like two shipments. Ooh, that guy hit me really hard. This area might be too tough for me. I need better gear. Better armor. Well, I feel like I'm wearing steel armor. I don't think there's much better than this. I'm not wearing steel armor. But, yeah, so it's bizarre. Like, he's killing off whole villages that had nothing to do with anything just because they belonged to this kingdom. And basically he had already this is the crazy part. So he makes friends with the Emperor, and then the kingdom, that's what they call it, the kingdom, decides to side against them. And so the Emperor asks Ainz to help him by attacking the okay, I'm moving this stupid red flag because I'm so confused every time I see it. I try to drive toward it. So let's put it on something I'm trying to drive to. And so they go out, and Ainz cast a single spell that kills 70,000 of the kingdom's soldiers. They don't have much more than that. And so after he did that, one would expect that he would go and, I don't know, do something about the king or something. But then he's like, nope, we're good now. And then some people, I don't even think it was the king, just some people from the kingdom attacked one supply caravan. And so he's decided to raise the kingdom to the ground. He didn't go after their leaders. So I don't understand. I don't understand. He's just killing the civilians. And it's so weird because in other instances he tries to save people. And so I don't understand the ping-ponging back and forth between saving people and killing people. Another example is he set up a trap where he leaked information that there was treasure at his tomb. And so the kingdom sent people, this is what started the whole thing, was the kingdom sent people to the tomb based on the information that he had released. And they're just adventurers. The adventurers showed up to raid the tomb for treasure. And, of course, none of them are powerful enough to fight against his creatures, because he's super overpowered. And so they go and have a whole storyline for this one character about how her parents are, have squandered all of their family's money, and how they're only surviving because she keeps bringing back money from being an adventurer, and how she's amassed enough money, she thinks, um, to be able to get her two sisters out from under her parents, and how she's gonna, you know, cut off her parents from her money. And yeah, they kill her. Not only do they kill her, they specifically hunt her down and kill her. Uh, and then the episode ends with the two sisters standing at the window going, "I can't wait for the sister to get back." It's I don't like the tone. I wish he was either trying to conquer the world as an evil lich, or he was trying to save people and build a kingdom where people aren't discriminated against, because he's doing both. And it's a very bizarre ping-ponging back and forth. Like, I can't believe that you would just go and start slaughtering random people in these villages and cities on your way to the capital when you can just teleport into the capital. Like, he did this thing. He's got an alter ego, and he like teleported his alter ego in. He's got a dude who can mimic and change what he looks like. And so that dude pretended to be, I don't remember if he pretended to be Mormon or if he pretended to be not Mormon, but Mormon, the adventurer. I don't remember if he was that guy or if he was Ainz's lich form. But he was one of those two anyways. And so him and that guy faced off against each other, and then the dude was like, "I will not rest while you're committing atrocities in this kingdom, or in this empire, and I will do everything in my power, you know, to stop you." And so then Ainz is the lich, I think, goes, "Well, if you don't want them to face against my justice, then work for me and be my hand of justice in this empire." And so that's what he did to get the people on his side, was gave them a false hero who's actually his subordinate. So I don't understand why he helped one side who attacked him way more, and is just slaughtering the other side. I just don't get it. But yeah, it's weird. It's a weird anime. And the season 4 is like such a tone jerk from the other seasons, because like everything in the other seasons has been these tiny little things, but now season 4 is all about conquering these kingdoms. But at least it's more of a plot than the first 3 seasons it had, so makes it a little better, I guess. Alright, well, with that, I am gonna call it a day. So beware of the small things, lean to the light, and I will talk to you later.